China's been around for 5,000 years. The people who lead, govern China at various levels throughout the country, they're unburdened by things like elections. There is no such thing in China as polling of politicians or policies. They're not worried about losing their seat in midterm elections. China doesn't worry about those things. They don't have those things. Public opinion in China is dictated to the public by the government. And dramatically unlike the United States, where Republicans in the House and the Senate have to worry about the polling of Donald Trump's popularity as we approach the midterm elections, when every member of the House of Representatives is going to be up for re-election and Republicans have like a 3-seat majority in the House. And the Senate map is 5 months ago, the Senate map in 2026 was looking very, very, very favorable for Republicans to keep the Senate. It's a very tough Senate map for Democrats this year. That is dwindling. That is changing. It is becoming more unfavorable for Republicans because of elections, because of polling, because the public in the United States, the electorate, gets to have a say in who goes to represent them in Washington, D.C., in the House or the Senate. This is just some of the dynamics of why China is not engaging with Donald Trump on this tariff bullshit. We have 145% tariffs on Chinese products entering the United States. And those tariffs are starting to hit right now. Right now. Today's Friday, May 9th. And, you know, the people of China don't have a democratic process available to them. They have tariffs on our products of 125% right now. The people in China don't have a democratic process through which they can make their voices and opinions heard. We still kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit have that here in the United States for now. And China's just like, yeah, whatever. We're going to ride this out. We've been here for 5,000 years. You've been around for 250 years. A percentage of the time that we've been here. A small percentage of the time that we've been here. And overnight, so Donald Trump understands that the ports are empty. The ships that are coming in, that could, you know, maybe contains $500 million worth of goods from China. The companies that ordered those goods are going to have to pay $1.45 billion to get those goods, or something like that. And that's causing a tremendous amount of pressure on Republicans in the House and the Senate. And it's being reflected in the polling numbers for Donald Trump, who is at historically low polling across every category, including the 3 things he ran on for re-election: the economy, inflation, immigration. He's underwater by 5 to 25 points on all of those things now in polling which doesn't exist in China. And so overnight, he tweeted in all caps something along the lines of, China must open their markets back up to the United States. Open markets are great for everybody, with 12 exclamation points, with no additional context added. And then this morning he tweets, 80% tariffs on China seems appropriate. But it's up to Scott Bessent, his Secretary of the Treasury. Scott Bessent has had absolutely no involvement in setting tariffs up until now. And so there are two tells right there. Donald Trump blinked first, and he's already trying to blame tariffs on Scott Bessent, who didn't want the tariffs in the first place and has been looking for a backdoor out of this administration since after like the first 3 weeks. Because Scott Bessent, who's been a Wall Street guy for decades, his reputation is starting to suffer badly, even though he's a billionaire. He's concerned about his reputation, and his reputation is being damaged within the community that he exists in, these Wall Street community, Wall Street people. Those guys are all starting to look at Scott Bessent sideways before today. And now Donald Trump is like, 80% tariffs on China seems appropriate, but it's up to Scott Bessent. First of all, that's Donald Trump saying that he just, for no reason, thinks that the tariffs that he put in place unilaterally against China should be reduced by 50%, almost, give or take, 65 percentage points. And there hasn't been anything in the news, anything that's been reported as to why Donald Trump would have sent that tweet overnight, China needs to open its markets, or what would have caused Donald Trump to say, maybe we should reduce the tariffs by 65 percentage points. Oh, and by the way, it's this other guy's fault, Scott Bessent. It's up to him. I'm just the president. I know I did all of this unilaterally, but I don't have any power over what's happening right now. I have to wait and see what Scott Bessent does, my Secretary of the Treasury, who's had absolutely nothing to do with any of this since the beginning, when I announced on Liberation Day that I was just going to go hog wild and lose all rationality and sane thought when it comes to tariffs, because at some point in time before the Civil War, we didn't have income taxes. We had slavery, and women weren't allowed to vote. We had those things, but we didn't have an income tax. We had tariffs, and America was great despite the slavery, and women can't vote or have any independence whatsoever, and we were slaughtering tens of millions of Native Americans. We also had tariffs, and tariffs made America great. So let's go back to that. He does it. The entire world economy collapses. Nobody's getting fuck all for Christmas this year. He thinks the toy making company Mattel is a country. But it's unbelievable. It's just gobsmacking to me that people who still support him think that he has the slightest idea what the hell he's doing, because he doesn't. And he's mentally ill, and he has dementia, and he shits his pants in the Oval Office at least once a day.